Welcome in, guys, to Wise Up TV, where we're here to break down the Tonga squad for this upcoming match in round two of the Pacific Championships against Samoa. And it's time now for Tonga to unleash their team. And we're going to break that down for you today. But please hit that like and subscribe before we get started. Overall, man, this is a quality side again. This is a team that's coming off a successful Pac Champs campaign last year. They got in the final. They actually were, for a period there, having a chance to possibly win it. A lack of quality and a lack of talent kind of put an end to that against the Kangaroos, who are always hard to beat. But if I'm looking at this team moving forward, it just continues to grow and develop and improve, and I think over time it will get better and better. It does have its weaknesses, like Samoa. I'll break those down for you. There are areas that you just need quality in, and maybe that's something to look forward to the future and how to solve that problem. But you got some key players there that will just absolutely carry this team, and I think it's going to be a very, very successful team with a bit of energy coming off their trip to Tonga, where they had parades and amazing turnout there for all their fans. That just boosts the spirits. It builds the culture. It builds belief that they can go ahead and win this competition. And no doubt that's the plan for Christian Wolf. He's been in the job for about 8 or 9 years. He's built the culture there. He's coming off a successful campaign with the Dolphins, in his first year pretty much. And he'll probably look to build on his coaching and say, hey, I've beaten Stacey already. I'll go and beat Gardner and we'll go win this Pac Champs. But let's break that down. Things to think about while we are talking about this here. This back five is absolutely quality, in my opinion. Let's start with Lehigh Hopewadi. Lehigh, I suppose, a player that's played on the wing at times. He's played at fullback for Manly. I really like him. I liked him in the last Pac Champs. I thought he's shifty. He finds a spot. I think he's got a good rugby league IQ, knows where he needs to be. He does his role. Yeah, he's a smaller, skinnier type. And sure, you can pin him down when you can. But if he's an open play footy, he's a pretty serviceable fullback, in my opinion. He can, play, he can pass, decent defense for a smaller guy. I just think he's a solid option there. You could have gone with a Kohler. You could have gone with maybe a few other ones there. But I ultimately think that's the right call there. Pretty much to access, and we'll break down the halves Iongi later on, but to allow for a 5/8 option for Isayia Katoa moving forward. I think Lehigh is the right option at this situation and time. On the right wing, Sione Katoa. I thought Sione has been solid at the Sharks this year. He's still in good position performance, still giving good output. I think he's got good production. I think he's stepped up a lot when he's played for Tonga. He does have his errors in him. He's aerially, he can get called out. Defensively, he has a knock on in him, has a few of those issues. But overall, I think that's a good, solid option there. You could have gone with the Alamotti, and I feel for Alamotti, his work rate and yardage, I feel is going to be missing. But then again, we'll argue, maybe there's an argument that it's actually okay there. Robert Toya, this is the kid, the rookie of the year. You're probably thinking, man, can't wait to see this guy in a red jersey. Let's see what he's got, and he'll no doubt step up. He has quality about him, just like a Casey McLean who was in the Kiwis last week. I'm looking forward to seeing what a Robert Toya can do on this level too. Very solid, played for Queensland. Really, really outright centre that I just think is a really solid centre, and will be good to see him going up against Samoa and seeing what he can produce. Tulutau Kola, we know what he is. He's a speed demon. He can get on the outside, long range merchant. He can do a lot of things. He's very shifty, very good footwork, all those things. I think he's going to be impactful and just be aware of him. You got to be for Tango. You got to be eyes up, seeing what he's doing, what he's producing. And then on the end, you got Daniel Tupou, who's just the out and out, veteran of the game. He's just a try scoring machine, aerial threat, yardage maker. This guy was, 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't far off. He's been in the Origin squad for quite a long time. He's just a solid player. There was the argument for Alamotti. Again, we'll have a look at that over the weekend and see, well, did they miss Alamotti? You're thinking from just an overall numbers perspective, there's enough there for yardage. There's enough there for attacking shape. You got explosives in Kohler. You got Robert Toyo who can produce. Sione's pretty solid in the yardage emphasis. Daniel's a good yardage and aerial threat and finisher. He knows where to be at the right times, and Lehigh will just be that guy at the back. I think he will do a good job there. But it's a good back five, and I think it'll more than fairly match up against Tor Samoa, who I thought had their moments last week. Brian was a bit off the boil, but look, it'll be a good battle. See if Brian's up for it. Dean will look really sharp. Tonga more of a kind of a normal centre, not a massive yardage guy, but and then working on the other side there. I think it's a good battle. Let's get into these halves though. This is an interesting call because initially Isayia Iongi, you know how massive he's been at Parramatta and his season he's had there. Now to go into 5'8", I'm sure it's a role that he might have played. For Tongan fans, they might know more about his history. But I love him as an explosive player, as a running threat. He'll probably be more of a run threat, and he'll get in shapes that look more like a fullback look as well. So not to say that he won't get his opportunities, but mate, it is a scary thought with him and his running ability. Imagine him on an offload off of AFB breaking through the line around the ruck. It's terrifying with the speed he's got. I've seen what he's done to my Warriors. He did a number on C&K, and he had a massive year under Riles at Parramatta. So we'll see how he goes. I'm not sure on his kicking game, all those things. I'm sure Isayia will take the majority of that workload. But he is a very exciting prospect in rugby league in general. So I'll be watching out for Isayia Iongi. Isaiah Katoa, mate, I love this kid. I love the way he plays the game. He's an out-and-out future, probably New South Wales half. He's definitely got the goods. He's creative at the line. He goes deep on the line. He does double pumps. He does cutouts. He does everything that you can think of. Really solid kicking game too. He was massive. They were just short, in my opinion, just short of really winning that. If he had a little bit more help and a little bit more quality around him, and we'll break that down as well. The quality around him is very important. But he nearly carried that team to winning the Pac champs, and he nearly did. He just lacked a bit there. There were a few moments he missed in that final against Kangaroos where he was, he'd be disappointed. But with another year of maturity under Wolf at the Dolphins, now Wolf in Tonga, he'll be up for it. That'll be exciting to see. Saliva's been a star, isn't he? He's been Mr. Reliable for Wolf. He's always called him. Not the greatest hooker again. I go and compare. You got Harry Grant at the Kangaroos. You got JMK at the Kiwis. When he's healthy, is fantastic. Saliva's just that serviceable guy in the middle. You're really looking for a Sonny Luke to kind of take over and do the majority of work midway through the game. But I'm sure Saliva will do a decent job to start the game off. Similar to a Jazz to Vanga kind of approach, although I rate Saliva a little bit better than Jazz. But Saliva's on that way out, on that decline. Sonny Luke hasn't had a ton of minutes in the top grade, and it is an area of weakness. So if I'm a Kiwis fan, I'm excited about it because I got a little bit more quality there. But no doubt Saliva will live. No doubt. But it's an area where you want your halves to get the best quality ball, and you want your hooker to be able to manipulate markers to create overloads on the outside, all those things. But I'm sure Saliva will do a decent job there. But making sure he's connecting with Isayia, both Isaiahs there, and getting them in their right spots. Getting to your markers, getting those quick play of the balls, and knowing what type of pass to give, knowing to give a flat ball or a deep pass, all those types of things. I'm sure he'll do a number, but I'm excited to see him. He's been a stalwart, isn't he, for the Tongan team, and Wolf trusting in his veterans still at the same time. Let's break down this 4-pack. It's a good one, man. It really is. AFB, he is just all class. As a Warriors fan, I got to see him week by week, how professional, how consistent he is. No doubt he's done the same at the Sharks. It was a little bit lighter at the Sharks this year, but still massive output and impact. You know what he was like last year in the Pac champs. I thought he absolutely lifted and carried that team in the middle. He's going to do the same coming up against the Payne Haas. We'll need to lift and make sure that he gets every ounce of energy out of him. And he can play, decent long minutes. Probably playing a bit more shorter minutes these days. But AFB versus Payne Haas, mate, absolute fireworks on that one. Utoi Kamanu as well, another one that just ever reliable. Just solid player. Not on the level of an AFB, but if you want to, if AFB is going to lead the way and he's following up, mate, it's a scary sight for any forward pack. Um, and so they've got a big day for Josh Papali'i, for Payne Haas, Paolo to deal with those big middles. Then you got JT in the locking position, who's a carrying machine. If anyone can remember what he was like last year, everyone was predicting JT's on his way out. When he puts on that red jersey, he goes absolutely bonkers. So watch him again, probably left again. He'll do that role. That's a formidable pack right there, and they'll bring size and energy. The hits will be hard, and I'm sure he'll give his good little stints, maybe first 20, first 25, and then hit the rest, and then come back on for the second stint. Um, it's as those three there. I rate that if you come up against a Payne Haas, Josh Papali and Paulo, that trio there of Itukamanu, AFB, and and JT, I think it's kind of even or even a bit more swayed to Tonga. I would say, I'd give them that edge personally. But that middle forward rotation of those three there to start the game off at least should be really solid and should be a good little battle there. The edges, Ali Katoa, we know what a beast he is. I'm looking forward to seeing him work with an Isayia Katoa there, and just mate, he's a class player on the line, kick chase, one percenters. He finds himself over the try line so many times off of short kicks, off of different variety kicks, off of set plays. We saw in that grand final, he was a ball playing back rower. He would throw cutouts or out the back. There's a multitude of ways you can use him. Ali Katoa, no doubt, will have a big series in this game. I think he might be the back rower of this comp, and he might dominate whoever his opposite may be. So it's a big night. Is it for Simi Sasangi or Jeremiah Nanai? That will be a good battle. And on the other side, Siwa Wong, he's Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. He's been solid at his time at the Roosters, and I have no doubts he will do a fantastic job. There's a lot of ball playing options there for those halves to work off. I love what Isaiah Katoa and Ali can do. On the opposite side, a Iongi working with a Siwa Wong, working lines there. That'll be good to see as well. But that four pack when I go man for man with Tor Samoa, it's a bit better in my opinion. And I'd be interested to see what you guys think. But I think it is a little bit sharper. And the quality there with AFB, Ikamanu, and Ali Katoa there, and JT, it matches up really well. And it will be good to see that first 20. I want to see the impact, how much, because the Kiwis kind of got on top of Tor Samoa. Can Tor Samoa correct that? Or will Tonga actually run rampant as well through the middle? It's going to be fireworks, man. I can't wait to see it. Finish off with this bench, which, look, Sonny Luke, he's been a mainstay. He'll be that utility hooker. He'll play long minutes. He was really effective, I thought, last year against the Kiwis. He came on and really gave a boost of energy. So no doubt Saliva will do his stint. Then Sonny will play his long minutes and get that team around the park. Good, solid player. Hasn't played much first grade this year, but he's played at this level. He knows what's expected. Wolf will have him ready to go and what to do. Leka Alasima, this absolutely terrifies me as a Warriors fan. I love Leka and what he's been able to produce, but as a Tongan fan, that is scary what you got coming off the bench there. Imagine the energy what he puts into the Warriors and go another level when that red jersey's put on and what he could do for Tonga. It's scary. I'd hate to see him on the back end of a game if I'm a Tor Samoa back row or middle forward. Leka he's just got this amazing upper body strength. He's got footwork. He's got everything to pierce through the line to get those post contacts. He'll be a handful. And in a red jersey, with the pride of that jersey and wanting to lift to the level, he'll be right up for it, man. So be very careful and watch out for this man. He finds himself over the try line. He's a very clutch player. You put a kick up for him, he can go out and grab it, absolutely nails it, and has finishing ability. He's just so powerful. So I'm the back end of a game. If I'm a Tor Samoa fan, a Tor Samoa player, I'm really worried. Felice Kaufusi. This is probably a selection I'll probably question Wolf on. Gone with the older statesman. He does, Wolf, love to have his kind of experienced guys. There's an argument there for a Dimitri Vaimonga in that spot. But again, I suppose he's going with more of his veteran players. Felice is okay, but he's got his errors in him. He's got his, he's on the decline. An interesting call by Wolf. I would have gone with the Vaimonga, but maybe he's just wanting a little bit more leadership in that team. I can understand that. But then you add in the Mo Fotuaika. Mo is, I love him as a player. He's consistent. He's probably had an up and down year at the Titans. Not the best season he's had. In previous seasons, he's probably been a lot better. But Mo's a solid. He'll give his output. And again, similar to a Francis Molo last week, I think a Mo Fotuaika will come in and just do a really good job, lift and hold that middle up, provide the energy that they need. He'll come and do his little 20, 30-minute stint there, give AFB or whoever a little break, and then they're back into it. But anyway, guys, that's the team there. If I'm going for man, I actually really like this team over Tor Samoa. I think there's probably a 1 to 2 point 2-try buffer there. Could be. I'm adding in the fact that Tor Samoa have had a brutal series with the Kiwis, and it was so important for them to win that game. Payne, can he maintain that energy that he brings up against the Tonga? He needs to have another lift for them to be effective. If a Terrell May comes in the last minute, this is going to be a real epic game, because I think Terrell can balance out that forward pack and give a bit of energy for Toa to maintain. Because, man, you got AFB, Stefano, JT, then you got Leck off the bench. There's options there for them to have a long game motor-wise, and the yardage in there is enough. Will the halves be a little bit better? I think Luai and Blaze are building something. I think they'll get their opportunities. Would like to see Isayia and Iongi. I think this is the first year post Lolo here. So they're moving in a new direction with a kind of makeshift 5'8", who's actually a fullback. Will that impact? How will the kicking game go? All of those things. But on paper, it looks fantastic. Tonga will be a little bit rusty, no doubt. But then again, the quality of the Kiwis versus Tor Samoa was both teams were just hitting the ground running. So maybe Tonga won't be rusty and they'll just start flying from the get-go. It'll be interesting to see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this team better than the Tor Samoa squad man for man? What are its weaknesses? What are its strengths? Do you see this team going on to win the Pac Champs? It'll be great to see Sunday afternoon, 6 p.m. New Zealand time, 4 p.m. Aussie time. It's going to be an absolute fireworks up there at Suncorp. And it's 40,000, maybe going on 50,000. That is crazy to all those fans that are committed to going. I can't wait to see it. But let me know what you guys think anyway, guys. Please hit a like and subscribe to Wires Up TV for more Pac Champs coverage over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Stay safe. Up the Tongans, up the Samoans, up the Kiwis, up everybody. Up the Wires. Catch you later. Peace.